Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's live stream, day 11 of NaNoWriMo. All right, we're gonna get some Captain Infinity going on here. All right, I'm gonna post to let some other people know that we are streaming. So what I can do here. All right, I'm gonna do a couple of. Let me get the internet can totally see you now. To stop, use your encoder. All right. So, like, there's all this stuff that I don't quite understand about using encoders and etc. But the key is that we are streaming, so we're gonna rock and roll. Let me see which hat am I gonna do right now. Let me get a little hat on here. Day 11. Okay, so now we're gonna see if we can go to the control room. All right, I don't want to do that. Go back here. All right, so that is not what I wanted to do. So we're gonna go NaNoWriMo day 11. Straight legendary. Okay. Thanks for joining Captain Infinity Saga. Continues. Captain Infinity Saga continues with tonight's live writing stream. Thanks for joining me. Huzzah! All right, so we got that. Wait and see when that pops up. Now we're gonna also take this over and see if we can get some Facebooking going on. All right, I'm doing some writing tonight. Come join the party. All right, hashtag NaNoWriMo, hashtag maximum effort. All right. Boom. All right, here we go. The saga continues. Okay, so we're still milling around in the teens on pages, but I mean, it's day 11 and we got 14 pages. Oh, yes, that's right. I was about to get into. See, I don't even look at this. I think about it, but I don't even look at this while while I'm away from it. I only look at it on the live, right? So let's see. So now that I'm looking at it, I do remember, however, that I was going to dive into something a little bit more involved. So it's a good thing. Yeah, little tired today. Did filmed an episode or two for the Str8 legendary show, and so I'm hoping to have a new show up for you guys this week. So check it out. For now, all right, let's jump into some live writing. I think, yeah, I think I'm actually gonna turn the lights on because I don't think this is great for my eyes. All right, make this already a little bit better. Okay, so here we go. All right. So possibly just now that we know the problems, we can work to stop them, but we won't. I mean, look at this. All right, so now I want. But we won't for that. But we won't for that. We won't for that. But we won't for that. Especially, we won't for that. Especially if we fail to heed the warnings. Especially if we fail to heed the warning signs. All right, young adults, you might have to use your dictionary for that one. Heed. But we won't for that, especially if we fail to heed them. I don't understand how we can have such little faith in a future. In the future, we can, so a little faith in a future that has already been given to us. Been given to us. All right, so I'm going to go back and read this dialogue through a little bit because just to make sure it's flowing. Hi, Dr. Pennington. Hello, Dr. Beck. So what do I owe this pleasure? I read your latest editorial. In fact, everyone did. So now here's something I think that happens more often when people are reading scripts. Usually they read them quickly and they read the dialogue the most. And they skip over some of the other things because the dialogue in this situation, the dialogue really helps to, or really gives you the quickest idea of what's going on. So people will skim through. So like when you enter your script into a contest and the readers are reading like dozens and dozens of scripts, that dialogue gotta pop because if they have to skim, it's the dialogue that's going to get read and some of the other stuff if that would be kind of left off. So if you spend a whole lot of time in your descriptions and then your dialogue is, okay, then flip that. Just make your descriptions, make these parts, the action parts, the parts that you can kind of, okay with. You want to have them be clear and concise just in case they do read over it. But, this is where you want to spend your time, get this dialogue tight. I read your latest editorial. In fact, everyone did. And everyone is calling for your head. Are you surprised? This is academia. If someone isn't calling for your head, are you really doing your job? Your job is to research, to lecture, and to present fact-based arguments, hypotheses, not to opine that hyperbeings will lead to the demise of the planet. I didn't say that, Fed, and you know it. Besides, what I wrote is not an opinion. It's backed up by future historical data. These are facts. If that's the case, then why do none of your peers or colleagues agree with you? Because they're scared of hyperbeings. I refuse to base my literature on fear. Why would we be afraid? Just full hyperbeing integration is a good thing. Having people with powers accepted into the greater society has done nothing has done nothing but change the world for the good. Nothing? So we're going to forget about all those supervillains out there? Of course not. But the heroes are handling that. We're talking about advances in physical science and hyper-technology beyond your wildest dreams. Almost every field, from sanitation to entertainment, is better and more efficient than ever. And the future historical data that shows those very efficiencies. That is a qualifying word or an extra word that I pop in a lot of places that usually you don't need it. And the future historical data shows those very efficiencies could possibly have some catastrophic effects, possibly, Jess. Now that we know the problems, we can work to stop them. But we won't, Vivette, especially if we fail to heed the warnings. I don't understand how you can have such little faith in a future that has already been given to us. I mean, look at this. Do you put the S? Do you just not? Whatever. We're going to take out the S. It's a lot of S's. Although I like S. My name begins with an S. Activates one of Jess's holographic screens and inputs sequence holographic screens and types in a sequence before their eyes a utopian before their very eyes a gleaming utopian futuristic city. Before their eyes the visage their eyes a visage of a gleaming utopian futuristic city. Say a visage of a gleaming utopian futuristic city appears before their eyes. Size of a gleaming utopian futuristic city appears before our eyes. If I was a younger writer, I would go on to describe the city in a few sentences of detail. But I'll let you guys imagine what this gleaming utopian futuristic city looks like, which when this goes to art, when I begin to talk about the artists, I will see what their facade of a gleaming utopian futuristic city looks like. And also, if it ever becomes a movie, it's gonna become the director or the different people making the movie will be able to decide what that gleaming utopian futuristic city looks like in this particular image. If there are specific things that I would like to have as part of this futuristic utopian gleaming utopian futuristic city, then I will let them know. But for now, we're just going to keep it just this kind of general idea. All right, we'll say this. Let's get this off my desk so I have a little more foot space. Event activates one of Jesse's holographic screens and types in a sequence. The visage, the visage. Is that even the right word for that? Let me make sure that's the right word for that. The surface of an object presented to view. Okay, we'll keep it there. I think that works for now. The visage of a gleaming utopian futuristic city appears before their eyes. I'm not sure if it's totally the correct word, but we're gonna leave it for now. And a timeline of their eyes. And the timeline similar. Oh, I gotta remind myself. Oh, yes. So, okay, there we go. The teacher says calls students. So what I'm looking for is if I referenced the image of a timeline going across, which I think I did. Forget if I referenced it, like the image of an actual timeline, kind of like how we saw in Avengers Endgame. If any of you guys saw that when the Sorcerer Supreme did the whole thing with the whoosh and the timeline, appeared and she pulled an Infinity Gem out of it. Spoiler alert: she pulled an Infinity Gem out of it, and there was an alternate timeline that was created. Maybe this is the same pristine futuristic city. But so I want to see if I referenced it so that I can say it was similar to the one we saw earlier in Cynthia's classroom. A virtual representation of a timeline. All right, there we go. So, we'll use the same wording for now. timeline. Representation of a timeline materializes. Okay. Oops. All right. Virtual representation of a timeline materializes spanning the length, spanning the, say, width of the room. So since this is going to be a continuation, well, I did a double dash. A double dash indicates that the person stopped talking before they intended to. So the idea here is that she's saying, I don't understand how you can have such little faith in a future that's already been given to us. I mean, look at this. And she kind of does the activation. But so the double dash means that she intended to say more, but stopped. You usually use a double dash when someone in a script format, at least when someone gets cut off by someone else, they get interrupted. That's a double dash. If they're saying something that continues after the action here, then it would be an ellipsis indicating that they talking and then they're going to talk again, especially if the idea is that they're talking as they are doing, if the character is talking as she is, doing the activating. So she's like, I don't understand how we can have such little faith in in a future that has already been given to us. I mean, look at this. And she's typing, and then she says something like, is this not so, and in some cases you don't need it at all, because even if she is going to begin talking again, you don't have to have an ellipsis or a double dash. So only thing is I'm not 100% sure what I want her to say at this point. So if that activates one of Genesis holographic screens and types in the sequence to the sides of a gleaming utopian futuristic city appears before their eyes. A virtual representation of a timeline. It spans the width of the room. A virtual representation of a timeline. So the decision is, do I have Yvette talk again? Do I have Jess pop in, or do I? Well, I want Yvette to speak again here because she's excited about what we're seeing. Jessica is going to come in when she shows a part of the timeline that is not so utopian. It's going to be more dystopian. So spans the width of the room. I mean, look at this. Are you not entertained? Look at this. Look at look at this. This is what we do. This is what our children. Okay. Okay. Jessica accesses the screen and inputs another sequence and inputs a sequence of her own. Okay. What about this? Yeah. Sup, brand? Yeah. Are you not entertained? Yeah. It was similar to a line I was about to say. Are are you are you not impressed? But yeah. Are you not entertained? Oh man. I hope the writing is coming along well. She could, that's true. She could say sarcastically, come on, Jess, are you not entertained? And yeah, it just kind of gives her a kind of you know, in honor of you, Bran, I'm gonna put this in here for now. I can't promise it's gonna make it into the final script, but Jessica gives her boss a side eye. I think there's a dash in side eye. We'll see. We'll see if it makes it into the final. But for now, it's there, my friend. This is our and then maybe that might be, you know, another project we could do, like a group writing, a group writing project where where I take suggestions from people and we write the story as people suggest things. That would be a fun exercise. Oh, you're not into that. Yeah, it would be. Yeah, it would be totally cool. Totally cool. And put it out there for the world to see. So we're gonna. You know what? We are going to have Yvette access the hologram. No, it should have Yvette activates one of the Justice holographic scenes. Oh, you not to change. I guess we're across the side eye. Especially because this could be a cool reference to Gladiator, because Gladiator has that incredible line where I think it's what it's in Gladiators is what we do in life echoes in eternity. Like that's, I think that's what it is. I'm gonna do a real quick search here to see if that's it. But that's what this is all. That's what this whole, you know, kind of sequence of the story is about. It's about what we do now. You know, it's gonna affect everything in. Yes, yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah, I think it was when he was dying. We're gonna make sure echoes in eternity. Gladiator quote. Okay, Gladiator quote. We're gonna find out and get this right. Hold the line. Stay with me. Oh no, it was at the beginning. It was at the beginning during the battle scene at the very beginning. He says, "Hold the line. Stay with me. If you find yourself alone riding in green fields with the sun on your face, do not be troubled, for you are in Elysium and you're already dead." And he says, "Brothers, what we do in life echoes in eternity." And scene. Dramatic reading of Gladiator lines complete. Oh, if I was going super tongue in cheek, I could have Jessica say something like, "Yeah, I think that reference might actually really work. Are you not entertained?" Oh man, that's true. It could work. All right. Yeah, I like it. I'm keeping it there for now. It is in. It's gonna be there. It is going to be there. Let's see. It says this is entertained. It's a boss side eye. And then it says let's see. It works. It works. And then she says maybe something will go, but seriously, this is what our children have to look forward to. Okay, but what about this? Jessica accesses the screen and inputs a sequence of her own, prompting the utopian city to transform into a dystopian wasteland. The timeline inputs a sequence of her own, prompting the timeline to shift and the utopian city to transform into a dystopian. We're gonna say, oops, shift to the year 2254. Shift to the year 2254. and the utopian city to transform into a dystopian wasteland. So Jessica accesses the screen and inputs sequence of her own. And puts a sequence of her own, prompting the timeline to shift to the year 2254. This is part of our future too. This is our part of our future also too. This is part of our future too. Also, I don't know. We'll keep it. I gotta rework that line, but we're gonna put it there for now. This is part of our future too. The shift to the year shifts to we'll say March 2254. This is our future two. Pennington. This is part of our future too. True. But true. But then, but just a couple months later, true. Then just a couple months later, yeah. I don't want to keep saying this. This is part of our future also true, but then just a couple months later. But then just a couple months later. But then just a couple months later. I'll probably have to come back through. Well, probably, it's first drafty. So, Vet pushes the timeline forward to June of the same year. Vivek pushes the timeline forward to June of the same year, and the wasteland morphs into a lush garden city on into a cluster of lush garden cities on the side of a mountain, on the side of a mountain. There's a timeline for dozens of techie aircrafts, techie crafts fly through the air, fly through the air. It must be around it. We won't go all the way into that. Event pushes the timeline forward to June of the same year, and the wasteland morphs into a cluster of lush garden cities on the side of a mountain. Dozens of techie crafts fly through the air. Timeline always. I don't want to say it's timeline always straightens itself out. We'll say something like cluster of lush garden cities on the side of a mountain. On the side of a mountain, does the techie crafts fly through the air? A futuristic railway connects the cities to one another and presumably other mountain city clusters. All right, well, I just messed up a bunch of those words. Then just a couple months later, look. I don't know why I just started humming the song to Highlander. Hold the line. Stay with me. If you find yourself riding in green fields with the sun on your face, do not be troubled, for you are in Elysium, and you're already dead. Brothers, what do we do in life? Echoes in eternity. And push the timeline forward to June of the same year, and the wasteland morphs into that certainly was the business. Duncan McLeod. Yes. There can be only one. Oh man. I did not realize how old that movie was. The very first Highlander was old. I mean, they did a bunch of stuff after that, but I didn't even realize that it had been, that it was such an old one. Now I have like my watching list. Wow. Yeah. it was way back. I can't remember when I first saw it because I didn't see it when it first came out. I saw it years later. I think I was like a teenager when I first saw the Highlander movie, and I remember really liking it. And then I saw it years later when I was an adult, and I looked at it. I was like, "Why does this look so old?" And I remember looking it up, and I was like, "I didn't realize." I don't know why the Highlander was like a '90s movie. It is not. It is not totally 80s. Man. I mean, at least the first one was in the 80s. I think after that it got, yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. And yeah. I bet a lot of people thought people buying Queen albums were crazy until Queen blew up. Well, people probably still think Queen people think it's crazy. Mm. Mm. Now I'm oh my goodness. Now I'm humming Queen songs. This is Scaramouche, Scaramouche. Mm. I still haven't even seen the movie they did about Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody. I need to see that. It's fun. Maybe check it out. I'm like I can't play any Queen music on the stream because then they'll like copyright me. But I should like rock it in my headphones. Uh, yeah, I'm like making a list of all the things. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, they can't all be winners, but I like wait till it comes to. I was gonna say I wait till it comes to videos, a home video, or but I guess everything is home streaming now. So, but it's probably on one of the streaming services. I'll find it maybe and watch it when I'm not watching Highlander, because I'm about to watch some Highlander, some Gladiator. Oh man. Ah, okay, that makes sense. Because when they do the movie, they gotta kind of spruce things up a little bit and make it Hollywood ready. So sometimes you lose a little bit of the power or the rawness. So yeah, all right. So let's add that to the list. The documentary. All right. So I got Queen. I got Gladiator. I got Highlander. All right. I gotta hopefully before the next stream I'll have seen or listened to some of that. Uh, depending on what's going on tomorrow. So let's see. Oh, we got about 12 minutes. We're gonna put in an hour. I'm happy with what's got done. Yeah. how's your writing project coming along, Brand? Did you get some more words in today? Right. Hey, got more work in. That's what counts. Got work in, and yeah, try not to stay up too late. Nice. That's what's up. Especially if you're getting like get that hour in. Just even if you can get 1,000 words in an hour. I mean, yeah, that's something. I was actually talking to someone today, and she was talking about how even she was talking about how she just like her schedule was so crazy that she just couldn't get big chunks of time, and she was just getting in 200 words there, 300 words there, just kind of getting something on paper. And she got to the end of the week and she had, over 1,500 words. It was just getting in little things here and there, So, and the snow has put my kids on a delay. It is snowing here. Yeah, so I just got the message that my kids will be in a 2-hour delay from school tomorrow. So, but yeah, they add up. I like it's just like anything else, right? It's just like anything else. If you do it, if you think to yourself that you can't do it unless you can do a big chunk of it, or it's at one time, then you're hindering yourself. Even if you can just do this a little bit, do a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. If anyone else is doing this NaNoWriMo this month, you don't have to get 50,000 words by the end. The key is to just keep writing, keep going, step by step. Exactly. Yep. Yeah. I always tell people, when you are, I love this. I love the idea of cooking a meal, like a big gourmet meal. You don't just, it doesn't just happen instantly. You got to take it step by step. You got to get the ingredients, and you got to mix things, and you got to season, and all the different things that come along with it. It's a step by step process. So writing is the same thing, but since writing is such a common thing in a lot of people's eyes, we look at it as something that either you can do it, like when writing big things, either you can do it or you can't. And that's just not the case. Like, if anybody puts their mind to it and takes it step by step, you can write, novels and screenplays and epic sci-fi fantasy adventures, So, yeah. It's good stuff. Good stuff. City Southern. Ain't eating nobody's gumbo that took 10 minutes. There it is. I might have to. I think I'm put that one on my whiteboard. It's like, yeah. Words to live by. Words to live by. That's what's up. Yeah, it's very, like, yeah, I mean, think about it, right? Even when you take when you're watching anything that's put together haphazardly, is it like, can you expect it to be quality or fulfilling? You gotta, take your time with it. If your novel takes, a couple of years to write, but you're putting in a little bit every single day, go for it. If you're doing a screenplay and it takes you 6 months, which is like, kind of like the average, even for professionals, go for it. Take it step by step. No 10-minute gumbo. I'm on my whiteboard now. No 10-minute gumbo. All right, it's on the board. Yep. True that. True that. You need full. I don't know. I think this is keeping this kind of a PG-13 stream. But yeah, that's true. My mom said the same thing. Said the same thing. Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see here. Oh yeah. This is so, but this is coming together. I like how this is flowing. I like how it's flowing. So we'll see. I'm a little undecided on what I want to do with this next line, so I might just have to let it sit. and then I have broken my, well, I don't know, I didn't make a promise, but I've kind of broken what I was trying to do. Or I've broken what I said I was gonna do a few times now, which is get the manuscript typed up in a document so that everybody can kind of read along, and they don't have to like chop through the videos to read the entire script. Although, if you want to watch the videos to see the script, that's fine too. I don't mind that at all. But yeah, fun. So, okay. Yep. I'm digging this. I'm feeling good about it. Feeling good. Then just a couple months later, look. Yeah. I'm just undecided about what I want to do with this next line yet. I know where I'm going with it. They're gonna basically, Jessica and Vivette are gonna continue to kind of just a couple more times. It's not gonna be like a continue back and forth at this point, but they're gonna do a couple of times where they show each other different parts of the future timeline. Jessica keeps showing her the amazing parts, keeps showing the amazing parts, Jessica keeps showing the terrible parts of the future timeline, and Vivette keeps showing her the amazing parts of the future timeline. And Jessica is basically gonna say that she's not as concerned about the bad parts of the timeline as much as she is concerned about what happened between when the timeline was good and the timeline is bad, because there's going to be all these blank spaces. So here, where from which we discussed in a previous stream, March 2254. Part of that, in March 2254, things look terrible, but in June they look amazing. However, the time between that, April and May, they don't have any future historical data. So Vivette only cares that things got, I mean, she's curious, but she's looking at it glass half full, because the idea is that most people in the world are like Vivette, where they take the utopian parts and say, well, since we have that, we can we can have a hope in the future. Vivette can iterate that there are many pieces to the puzzle, not just one. Some pieces they don't have, something like that, right? Yeah, I mean that's kind of that's kind of what we're getting at, is that those pieces of the puzzle, like the pieces of the timeline that we see, and it's almost like, why wonder about what we don't have when we can focus on all the amazing things that we do have? Vivette looks at it as being thankful for what we do have, while Jessica is like, I'm very wary that the things we don't have might be the things that come back to bite us in the butt, because time is eternal. You can't, so Jessica is here wondering what happens when the timeline actually bumps up against one of those pieces that we don't have, and we can't predict like what's going to happen, and why things become dystopian, and then what in the world happens within just a month or two, that we go from total dystopia to total utopia. Like, that's almost as disconcerting as whatever happens to make things go downhill. It's like, what in the world could have happened that the world morphed back into this amazing place in just under a month? So of course, if you've been following along, it's going to have something to do with the chrono bomb and a young lady named Pilar Santiago. But we will get to there. But yeah, I think that's what we're getting at Brand. Is it Brand D? Maybe Brand D. Okay. So that's just, I don't know why it's popped up. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Yep. That's the kind of relationship. That is kind of relationship that's forming here. You know that they are. Because in this story, Jessica is. There's a lot of other people in this story. Like I said, we're going to meet more people in the story, or at least in this part of the story, who are like Vivette, who are just they're trying to grasp onto the positive, just like we met in the beginning of the story with Mr. Timmerman and all the kids. Everyone's really excited that we could see the future, that we could see all these amazing things that are coming. And yes, you have a segment of people. It's a small segment of people, and Jessica is one of the loudest voices in this segment of people, and one of course the most intelligent and most well studied, saying that, hey, listen up, guys, like slow down. We need to make sure that we understand this and not just ignore it and brush over it, because so much of the future looks bright and amazing. What is going on? So Wordsmith wins. So but yeah, just kind of trying to balance out the character, and you make balance, trying to, like figuring out how the characters, having 2 points of view is always a great way to, have conflict. And while this conflict is, they're talking and arguing a little bit, it is definitely something that is symbolic of the wider, big, catastrophic timeline, space-time continuing, altering events that are happening all around them. And that, after all, that Kappa scale is still out there. Those Kappa aftershocks, those time shocks are still out there. So, oh man, another good session. It's the hour has come and gone, and I still am not able to do a longer hour. I got a longer than an hour just yet, because I just got a bunch of other stuff to do and to get done. So, but yes, thanks everybody for joining me on this live right. Thanks for the good conversation and the inspiration. Brandy, and yes, thanks and good luck. Keep chugging away at your writing project. Everyone out there who's working on NaNoWriMo, or even just finding this after NaNoWriMo and is working on something, keep plugging away, keep writing, and yeah, don't stop. Step by step, keep it rocking and rolling. Yes, shout out to TCE, TCIS, Team Bandwagon, and of course, Str8 Legendary. Thanks a lot for joining us for this live right streaming session. And we are out. The legend grows, my friends. Huzzah!